Good day. My name is Miguel Alava and I'm here to present Gorgulis' study on the efficiency of hand forces, the estimation of hand forces and propelling efficiency during the front crawl swimming. Front crawl swimming is also known as the freestyle stroke. Now, a little background and introduction to the study is that swimming is a sport that uses the entire body from the position of the head until the flexion and extension of the ankles. Now, one of the techniques that swimmers always try to perfect is their swimming pull. Their pulling technique, a swimmer's pull is amounting to 70 to 80% of the swimmer's movement. The other 20 to 30% comes from the power of their kick. Now that's why freestyle swimmers always try to perfect their swimming pull to help them further in propelling forward and having the efficient and powerful stroke. Now, a way to for a swimmer to perfect his or her swimming pull is by using the tool of hand paddles. Hand paddles are objects that is kind of like a glove that swimmers wear and use underwater to help them perfect their swimming stroke. Now, with large areas of their hand paddle, there is a greater mass of water being pushed, which will in turn move the swimmer faster and longer. Now, wearing these hand paddles makes their pull heavier, but at the same time, propelling them forward in a greater distance, rather than wearing with no hand paddles. Now, you will also see here that there's two kind of hand paddles. One hand paddle is with larger area. The other hand paddle is smaller, which we'll explain later. Next is the objective of the study. The objective of the study is to investigate the relative contribution of the drag and lift forces of the hand in the propelling efficiency while wearing the hand paddles in the freestyle stroke. Now, you can see that there are various forces involved in swimming. That's why we'll slowly build up to that and slowly explain almost all of them, especially in the phases of the freestyle stroke. Now, proceeding to the methods, we see here that the participants are 8 female swimmers, freestyle swimmers. Freestyle swimmers meaning that freestyle is their main stroke, or main event. Then the equipment used is a pool buoy, which we'll explain later what it does, hand paddles, a pair of big ones and small ones, then underwater cameras, and pace clocks. Now, the swimmers were asked to swim 25-meter freestyle with a pool buoy without breathing for the whole 25-meter. Now, swimming with the pool buoy eliminates the factors of the kick. With the pool buoy, it lifts their hips up, which in turns, the swimmer can still move forward without their hips sinking. Now, next is they were asked to swim the whole 25-meter without breathing to eliminate head movement and body movement. So we've eliminated the movement of the head and the movement of the legs. So it will be almost purely concentrated on the pull of the swimmer. The swimmer had to swim 3 times at a maximum intensity and had a 3-minute rest interval per 25 to avoid the variable of fatigue. Now, to explain the trials, the method and the trials involved. See, trial 1 was the swimmer swam with no hand paddles. Trial 2, the swimmer had to swim with small hand paddles. And trial 3, the swimmer had to swim with big hand paddles. Now, using the underwater camera was placed in the middle of the 25-meter pool, almost directly below the lane that the swimmers will swim on. The underwater camera is to present the 3D system showing the X, Y, and Z angles. X being the sagittal, Y being the vertical, and Z for direction. All swimmers were recorded using the same camera on the same lane. Now, we move on to the definition of terms to better understand for the audience the phases of pull involved and a better idea of why it's being recorded and how everything works. So the underwater pull is divided into three phases. The glide phase, this explains the entry of the fingers and hands into the water at maximal speed. From the recovery phase, where the hand is above the swimmer's body during swimming, all the way to the moment where it touches the water and the shoulder of the swimmer rolls forward. The pull phase indicates from the ending point of the glide phase all the way from the fingers below the shoulder. This is where the swimmer pulls water down all the way to their shoulder. When the hand reaches to the shoulder, it goes to the next phase, which is the push phase. This indicates the last phase of the pull, which is from the point where your hand is under the shoulder and pushes the water towards your legs. Under your shoulder, and it pushes the water towards your legs. Towards your legs, because that is the swimming technique described for the swim pull, for the freestyle pull. The researchers measured the means of velocity, pitch angle, sweep back angle, and various forces surrounding the action of the pull of the swimmer. Now, these involves various formulas and solutions. Now, we're here to discuss the results of them, and for me to summarize and have a better explain to you with better understanding for the audience. Now, these were the results of the experiment. Now, wearing the big hand paddles decreased the velocity of the swimmer, but increased the propulsion forces, while swimming with small hand paddles, the velocity is faster than the big hand paddles, while the propulsion forces of the small hand paddles were less than wearing the big hand paddles. Now, to discuss the results, the researchers found that the propulsion forces when wearing the small hand paddles was not enough to compensate for the decrease in velocity, thus not being able to be efficient in improving power in the swimmer's pull. They found out that wearing small hand paddles does not internally help the swimmer improve the swimmer's pull and propelling efficiency, while wearing the big hand paddles, on the other hand, there was an even exchange of speed and power in this situation. As the pull's velocity decreased, the pull's propulsion forces increased. Now, to conclude the presentation and the take-home message, that the important points here is that swimming with big hand paddles will help you improve your power in the swimming pool, while knowing that through all of this, that hand paddles can be helpful in swim training as long as the stroke length and the stroke velocity measurements are close to swimming with no hand paddles, because in the race, obviously, you're not going to be wearing them. This will result in greater performance. The effort of the athlete must be optimal. That's why the swimmers were asked to swim at optimal paces for the supplementary equipment to help them reach a higher level of performance when it comes to the competition. So there you have it. Thank you.